Hi, everybody. Well, I have the distinct honor and pleasure of recognizing the 2020 Moses Organic Farmers of the Year. So you may recognize our Farmers of the Year from our exhibit hall that they have participated in for the last 30 years. You may have also tasted their teas that are served at the hot beverage station around the conference over the years. Jane and David Stevens with 4 Elements Organic Herbals are this year's Organic Farmers of the Year. This is a nationally recognized brand of herbal wellness products from plants grown on their farm in North Freedom, Wisconsin. And one thing that in particular excites me about this year's awardees is that while the farm is a true husband-wife, wife-husband partnership, the business is a female-led operation. So I like to use the name Farm Her. Farm Her. So this award is likened to more or less a Lifetime Achievement Award, and the longevity of their operation is really remarkable given where the organic farming movement was, and in particular where herbal wellness products were in the market when they began. Their farm is a remarkable example of vision and innovation, having started it in 1987 in Texas. And just a year later, they started developing value-added products in 1988. And only 1 year after that, they were certified organic since 1989. And they've been advocating and teaching regionally and nationally since 1988. It's really awesome to me, as a side note, as we are talking a lot more in the general public about renewable energy, that they even run their herb dryer, their heat mats, and their lights using solar. They have contributed time, Jane in particular, by serving on several boards of directors, the Organic Processing Institute, Baraboo Range Preservation Association, American Herbalist Guild, Madison Herbalist Institute, and recently is working as part of the Dried Herb Working Group with DATCAP. So this team, which is really what they testify to this business being the result of, really has done a lot for the organic farming community, and you too can learn from them by taking one of their workshops. They'll be teaching this Saturday morning medicinal herbs, as well as attend their field day on August 1st. So let's give a real warm welcome and congratulatory applause to our Farmers of the Year, Jane and David.
Sylvie made sure she got the plaque. She looked it up online to make sure that there was going to be one and that she could get it. So there you go. All right. Well, thank you all to the Moses Board and everyone here for this wonderful honor. I'm just so grateful to be in this position to sing the praises of herbs. I feel that herbs are just so important in so many ways, and that's part of what I'll be talking about tonight. And I really want to thank David for all his contributions. He's made the best soil in the world, I think, in our beautiful farm, and done so many things that I probably don't even know of them all. But one thing is these wonderful paths that he made around our garden and makes it just look like a park. So thank you so much for everything. All right, and thanks to my beautiful daughters, everyone in the whole family has helped. So Savannah has done so many different jobs throughout the years, and Sylvie's now helping with pouring tinctures and following the FDA guidelines and everything, and the apothecary, and helps in the farm with picking calendula. And yeah, it's really lovely to be able to raise a family like this. So thanks to everyone. All right. So I think we have some slides to show. Oh, great. Okay, good, because everyone wants to see pictures of the farm, right? Yeah, so yeah, again, thanks to everyone who helped make us, get us this award. I have a wonderful staff. Is this too reverby? Is it better over here? Okay, all right. So I've got this really lovely staff, and I love hiring moms because I think it's important that mothers get to run their schedules around their families, so I give them all the flexibility they need to be able to leave and come and go around their kids' schedules. So it's always been fun. Now we have the next generation. Savannah and Tessa were born a month apart, and now Tessa's a new mom. And yeah, so anyway, I've got such a lovely staff, very dedicated. Okay, next slide. Oh, okay. All right. So here we go back to circa 1988, when David and I did our first trade show. And we met actually at the Dallas Arboretum. We both worked there. And I just have to look at this booth and laugh because, I mean, it's ridiculous, actually. There's just a few soaps and some creams. But the reason why I actually got into making products was because I decided to be certified organic. So I was just making, growing herbs. Oh, thank you. So I was just thought, so our son was born, and I quit my job 2 weeks before that because I thought, I knew that I wanted to stay home and raise my kids. So we built a greenhouse, and I started growing medicinal herbs, or just every kind of herbs. And then it became certified organic, became a thing. That was back when Jim Hightower was the ag commissioner in Texas. So, you know, that was a natural fit for us. So I got certified organic. But then I couldn't grow my plants because my bag of tricks came from being a UW horticulture grad, and in those days there wasn't a lot for organic farmers to use. So my plants that were used to growing with Peters or Miracle Grow fertilizer, you know, pretty quickly, were just stopped in their place. And in the meantime, I had signed up for a bunch of shows, like little herb events, and I had nothing to put in my booth. So I thought, oh, I better make a lip balm or a cream or something to put in the booth. And I realized that people were responding much more to the products than my 200 kinds of herbs that I got really excited about. So that opened a door, and I felt, in retrospect, I felt like that commitment to organic is kind of what opened up my career. So I love that story, and but it's just hilarious to look at this picture and see how brave I was to show up at a major trade show with just a few soaps. So let's see here. Okay, oopsie. Okay. Oh. Oh man. Okay, got it. Thanks. Okay, so then along came Forrest, who's 33 now. And a lot of you have had babies, know that when baby's teething, they have problems with their ears. At that point, I had never used an herbal remedy, but I had a great herb collection and a good herb library. So I very cautiously just thought, well, this is what the native people did, this is what the pioneers did. I'm just going to try to see what you do for ear conditions. So I looked it up, and it was mullein flowers and olive oil. And so we just warmed up the olive oil with mullein flowers, and really I was so skeptical. I thought, how could this work? Well, 2 drops in his ear, and the crying stopped, the pulling of the ear stopped, and it was just amazing. And it just has become my passion and my path to learn more about how these plants help us heal. So anyway, that was the beginning of trusting herbs and being really excited about to see how else can they help us. Oops. Here, okay, there it is. Okay, so this is where we are now. So fast forward just 5 years. David got into grad school in horticulture, and we got this farm in the beautiful Baraboo Bluffs. And it was amazing because here we are on a road that's 2 miles long, and there were 2 other certified organic farms on this road. So I knew we were meant to be here. One thing that's so astounding about this place is it's in the top of the Baraboo Bluffs, and you can see there's no other farms around. Well, there were 2 on the far ends of the road, but you can see there's no agricultural drift, and so it's a very pure, pristine area. You can see on the left our greenhouse where we start the plants. There's a drying shed there next to the driveway, and then those circles that you see on the bottom kind of center, that's a garden based on the chakra system, where plants are placed according to their uses, which I use as an educational tool. And then in the fields is where we grow the herbs that go into the products. So you can help with that? Okay, thanks. Okay, I didn't try the arrows before. Oh, okay, oops. So along came Savannah. And about a couple weeks after she was born, her skin broke out in this horrible condition. And even when I look at this picture, I start just feeling the pain that she felt at that time. It was really so creepy because already I was making herbal wellness products, and then here was my baby with her skin erupting. It was just unbelievable. So I worked at trying to figure this out, and lemons turned into lemonade, and along came the Look No Eczema cream. This has been my #1 bestseller for over 20 years. These plants have helped so many people for so long. In fact, now I sometimes hear comments like, my mom used to use this on me, so we're on to the 2nd generation. But I just, when you see what plants can do, and especially when people say, I've tried everything and nothing helped but, plants, basically, it's just very humbling and beautiful. And as I like to say, I just move the plants around. It's the plants that do the magic. These are our fields. So I got so excited about plants, right? Herbs, herbs, herbs. So David created these great gardens, and I filled them up with herbs. Here we have, and lemon balm is my favorite herb, and I have like 28 rows of lemon balm. I just love it. Melissa officinalis. I'm known in the trade as the mother of Melissa, actually. And let's see. Whoops. Oh, jeez. Okay, same picture. Oops. Okay. This doesn't seem too high-tech, really. Okay, so then in this picture you can see holy basil. That's really a wonderful plant to use, and I save my seeds from year to year. I'm actually calling my selection Blessed Badger. And then here, over there on the right is lemongrass that I grow from seed, and the calendula. Here's a picture of lemon balm again with lemon verbena, and then there's the mullein flowers in there. I wanted to point out the mullein flowers, which were in that first thing I made for my son. So it's a common plant. It's not native. It's been introduced by the Europeans, but it's naturalized, so you'll find mullein everywhere. And so mullein leaves are useful for maintaining healthy lung function, and that's one of the key ingredients in this particular tea. So the point of this is, in 2012, I applied for and received the Value Added Producers Grant, and that helped me develop the teas. And that's been quite a project. It's kind of a challenge, actually, but they are beautiful. And so over the years, I've developed, many products, discontinued them and kept them, but these are the ones that seem to be the winners at this point in time. So I just get so excited about herbs. I really believe that herbs are part of the solution for health of individuals and the planet. And I'll tell you some reasons why. So herbs are the original medicine. There's never been a time when people didn't use plants for medicine. In our culture, probably since the 1940s, we haven't used herbs that much. It's really fallen out of our culture. But the original word drug comes from the word druga, meaning dried herb. What I love about herbalism is that when you're looking for an herbal remedy, it requires you to look at your own personal health, which is really important. You're not just going to somebody else and saying, fix me. You have to look closely at your health, and then you can start looking at all the different plants that might be there to assist you and start matching up what you think is good and really experiment. And plus, they're super cheap and fun to grow, and they come in beautiful packages, and they're all recyclable. So another reason to use herbs is to watch out. Pharmaceuticals are ending up in our water supply, and I found this piece of research from the United States Geologic Survey, and it points out how around pharmaceutical companies, there's a lot of drugs in the land and in the water, but a lot of people don't know that if they flush their pharmaceuticals down the toilet, it ends up going right into their water system. But actually, hardly anyone knows that when you take a pharmaceutical drug, most of it is excreted out, and it ends up in the water system. So they found that because around those areas, and municipalities have these, they'd have to really do a lot more work to take them out, but so far, the water now is getting more and more concentrated with antidepressants, birth control pills, and antibiotics. So, I mean, this is another good reason. I mean, you're all organic farmers. You really care about healthy environments. Also, I want to say that there is a time for a doctor. I'm very grateful I have a good physician and doctor. But when you have a choice, it's really nice to look at what herbal remedies are out there. Another situation here was when the cows were sick, they gave them some pharmaceuticals, the cows passed away, the vultures ate the dead animals, but then the vultures died from liver failure. I mean, herbs have so few side effects compared to what you see with pharmaceuticals. I have a copy of that in my booth, too, if somebody wants to see it up close. Another fact is, according to Johns Hopkins University, medical errors are the third leading cause of death in America, behind heart disease, cancer, and yet before respiratory disease. So herbalists will go to the doctor, but they'll go with caution, and they'll go with questions, because it can be a little scary. But you can get good information on which herbs you need. So I'm sure we all know somebody who's had this situation where they might have found somebody who got damaged or hurt or even died in the care of a physician. So I just wanted to point out this phrase called the shifting baseline. So it only takes one generation to accept a new lower quality of normal, and that's called the shifting baseline. Some examples are, for example, cancer. When I was a kid, there was only one person that I knew who had cancer. Now, when I drive home, it's like I can look at both sides of the road. Died from cancer, dying from cancer, recovered from cancer. I mean, this is like epidemic just in my beautiful rural area. Sunscreen. When I was a kid, we'd put on copper tone and go out in the sun and try to get a tan. Now when I go outside, I feel singed often. You know, it's just so different. When I was a kid, we'd go to parties and nobody said, "What are the allergies?" You know, we just all ate cake and ice cream, right? And then, you know, now there's less birds and amphibians. When I was a kid, there was actually crayfish in my ditch, and that was on the border of Milwaukee and Waukesha County. It wasn't in that rural of an area. It was like a neighborhood. And then you could also think of American elms, you know, and on. And I'd kind of like to get 3 people to think of, just raise your hand and tell me one other thing that we didn't mention. Yeah, the emerald ash borer. The ashes are really starting to die, more coming from the east. Bugs on your windshield. That's really an important one, actually, because bugs are what keep the birds alive. And, you know, we used to be, when you drive, there'd just be loaded with bugs. And it's true that I read an article on that. That was a big deal. Fireflies. And butterflies. Yeah, there's, pardon? And fireflies, right. So as organic farmers, as people who really care about the earth, who nurture the earth, I just wanted to bring this up because, you know, I know that I'm speaking to the choir, but it's just worth knowing this stuff. So I believe organic farmers are part of the solution. Yay to all of you. The most effective teacher is to be yourself as organic farmers. The best advocate is one who walks their talk without saying anything. I really noticed that with my horticulture friends when I became organic. You know, they really kind of changed their dialogue. It's kind of interesting. And you must be the change you want to see in the world. So thank you, all of you organic farmers, for the changes you're making in your land and your communities. I just think we're doing such important work, so I really appreciate that. So thank you to everyone.